right here. You guys can see it as it's pulling up. One of the differences here, a real driver would have stopped right here. I'm filming car rental. Please exit now. I mean, I'm not at the car rental spot. We got to walk a little bit, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and exit the vehicle. What up, Felix? So here's the app on my phone. You know, just slow down because that car came in a lane right there. So that's Waymo. That's the experience. An hour in a Waymo. We did say half the money, but there are some inconveniences. All right, waiting on our Waymo. Coming up right here. And I know I filmed this the other day, but I'm gonna show you guys how much this Waymo is costing me to go from downtown LA at Citizen M all the way to LAX. I spent, with a tip, I spent $85 or almost 90 bucks, I think, getting from LAX to this destination. And in a minute, I'm gonna show you how much to go to LAX from here, same distance. And we know the prices fluctuate, right? This is a Saturday, I came here on a Thursday. But I'm gonna show you the cost and the differences and why some passengers are gonna be choosing this. Here's the Waymo right here. You guys can see it as it's pulling up. I'll do this in live time with you guys. One of the differences here, a real driver would have stopped right here. I'm filming this and showing it because this is a real realistic experience. But the Waymo doesn't park in front of fire hydrants. It doesn't, you know, it has to park safely all the time. Whereas we know drivers, you know, us drivers, we're gonna park, like I should be in the car right now if it was an Uber. That's the one thing I've noticed. This is my 4th Waymo in 3 days. So we're gonna pull up on it here. Minor inconvenience to save the money, and I'm gonna show you the savings in just a minute. Okay, so this is the Waymo. They're always white, they're always Jaguars from what I understand. And you know it's yours because your initials are at the top. Okay, doors are unlocked. So we'll get in. You can sit in the front or the back. You know what, for this time, we'll sit in the back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in it. Start the ride. We're going to LAX. We got an hour in this car.
To LAX car rental.
Now
Please make sure your seatbelt is fastened.
I'm doing the car rental because, and I'll put it here.
Press the call support button to speak with a rider support agent.
It doesn't. It's basically where I got dropped off is right at the outer border, or the beginning border, I guess, the borderline of downtown. And then these Waymos can't go into the airport. But the LAX car rental place is right by it, which is like the border of their zone, right? And it makes sense that they can't go into the actual LAX, you know, pick up, drop off. I get it. At some point, maybe that changes. I have no idea, but we're on our way, okay? You see there's buttons here. You can pull over. We used that the other day. When we hit that at our drop off, the car pulled over, but then it locked people in it for a couple of minutes because the car was waiting for us to, waiting for it to actually, it wouldn't end the trip because they needed to park in a safe spot. So that was odd. So there's not having a human element does sometimes slow down the pick up and drop off, but it is what it is, right? There's a support button, I guess, if you need something. But arrival, so 54 minutes, yielding to pedestrians. You can see, I mean, you can see everything. See this guy right here? It'll slow down a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. There was a guy the other day that was in a bike lane heading towards us in a bike, going the opposite direction of the bike lane, and the car literally came to not a complete stop, but it slowed down because it detected something there, right? So anyways, let me show you the price real quick. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna put some split screens here. When I woke up this morning, right now I think it's like 10:20 or something, right? So we got about an hour. When I woke up, I checked it and I compared the prices on Waymo to Uber. And listen, full transparency, I'd rather use an actual human being driver because I want them to make money. But as a consumer, I'm showing this from that standpoint. Things are expensive. Ubers to airports sometimes, especially if they're surges, can cost hundreds of dollars. This is only like not even 11 miles, but you're in LA, there's traffic, there's this, there's that. So it is what it is. Once again, I spent almost 90 bucks to get here. That was with a tip. There's no tip option here. So as a consumer, you see that as a savings. Now, not that you have to tip, but it is what it is. It's part of the process, right? The experience. This one, this morning was going to be 20 bucks. at like 8 or 9 o'clock. I was like, oh my God, that is cheap. And I double checked my, like I had all the information right. And an hour later, so it went up to, I think I'm paying 39 bucks for this ride. So compare 39 to, we'll just call it without a tip. We'll call it 80. So I think my fare was like 75 bucks and I give them 15. That's half the price to do the same exact thing. Now, some of you are like, well, I don't want to drive in a car that's being driven by nobody because maybe I feel unsafe. There's some highway mileage here. I don't know if these things going to get on the highway. I'm going to find out. And I'll show you guys in a minute. I would imagine it would have to. Maybe not. I'm really not sure. I don't know. But we'll find out. And I wanted to see that as well. How does it drive? Like, what does that look like? What does it feel like? I will say this. I feel safe in this car. I think human beings sometimes don't drive safe. Uber and Lyft drivers, they get in accidents. It happens. But it's different, and things that are different can seem a little scary. It can seem a little off. You know, it just can. We're putting our hands in technology. Driving is the most dangerous thing we do on a day-to-day basis. And it's rather remarkable, actually, that there's not more accidents from the human side of it, right? So we'll see. We got 47 minutes until we get there. Traffic on a Saturday in LA, because the other 2 times I was here, getting back to the airport was always quicker than getting from, like arriving, you know. I don't know if that'll be the case here. I have no idea, but it kind of is what it is. But I wanted to show you the price difference. And when I went to go book an Uber from the car rental place, which isn't far from the, you know, it's like across the highway maybe or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it's close. I'm probably going to be able to walk it, right? It's a nice day. I got plenty of time before the flight leaves at like 2:15 or whatever, 2:30. It was $30-something to have an Uber pick me up from the car rental place and take me to Terminal 5. So almost the same price that this is costing me to go 10 times further. So you see, I'm trying to show the benefit, if there are any, from a cost perspective, Waymo versus Uber. Half the amount of money. So as a consumer, with things being very expensive, I can see why somebody might choose this as an option. Because when people are trying to order food, you might look at Uber Eats and DoorDash. When people are trying to get a cab or a taxi or Uber or Lyft, you're going to look at both. A lot of people have Uber and Lyft, and when I talk to passengers, they say I choose the one that's the cheapest. That gives me the best option, the best promotion. When you go to the grocery store and you're shopping for your whatever, if you have the same products or similar, most of us, unless we have some brand loyalty or unless we have some kind of allergy or something, you're going to choose the one that's cheaper, right? Especially nowadays, things are expensive. So anyways, looks like we're going to get on a highway. Let me flip this camera. I believe the highway might be up here. I don't know, but give you guys a little bit, I'll give you guys a little ambiance there. Oh, that guy's got a mask on. Listen, LA is different. You should have seen this hotel we were at. I didn't even film a lot of that, but the hotel is, LA is just really cool in a lot of ways, but I don't think I could live here, but that's just me. It's a cool place to visit. It is. Downtown LA is a little grimy, a little dirty in some spots, very hipster, very, it's different. So let's see, I believe we're crossing 18th Street. I believe, look at that mural. I've shown you guys some of that. When I was here 2 times ago, I actually walked some of this just to walk, So I would imagine we have to get in a highway. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'll show you guys in just a second. All right. And, oh, car accident. Look at this. You guys see that? That's a bumper. Can I roll the windows down back here? Oh, okay. Look at that. Look at that. That's somebody's car. Look at that. Boom. Crazy. All right, let's see. Yeah, you can roll the windows up and down. I wonder if there's, I can charge, I need to charge my phone. Let's do that real quick. All right, so anyway, I won't make this video too long, but put in the comments, would you take a driverless car, do something different to save half the money? Once again, I will continue to use Uber when I need to, but while I'm here and this is the option, I wanted to show you the experience. I wanted to save some money. Let's just be honest. I'm saving $40, $50 by doing this. I just am. It's a fact. And that's a real savings. We're not talking $5, $10, $15. If that's the case, I'm probably okay. Look. Oh, I missed it. There was a guy biking right here, and the car, it detected it. There's cameras on this thing. It can detect it. Now, there's going to be issues. There's going to be accidents. We've seen it in certain markets. I think like Austin, maybe Texas had some issues with some things. Maybe you guys could tell me if I'm wrong about that, but I was talking to some people yesterday about it. There's going to be issues. There's going to be issues. We see Uber and Lyft driving issues all the time. We see drivers assaulting passengers, getting in accidents. I mean, it happens, right? So think about it like this. I saw a news story. I think it might have been on Inside Edition just yesterday. And a woman was groped by a Lyft driver. She was very intoxicated. The Lyft driver went to the lady's home, parked his car down the street, tried to help her get in, and he's groping her at her front door. And the neighbor had to come out and basically possibly save this lady. Who knows what that Lyft driver would have done? This was filmed on camera because she had like a camera at her house. And she was so inebriated, she asked the guy, "Who are you? What company are you with?" And he goes, "I'm with Lyft." And he's groping her, holding her up. That's not going to happen with this Waymo. Now, also, that lady was super drunk, so maybe she would have passed out in the Waymo, and then who knows what would have happened then. But there's no human element. So there's some safety. If you're a woman and you've had a bad experience with a Lyft driver being weird, if you're a dude and you've had a bad experience with a Lyft driver, you're not going to have that. Not to say you can't have a bad experience in a Waymo. Things can happen. Maybe you get locked in and there's no human element. You got to call the support button or something. I'm sure they can unlock it. But there are pros and cons to this kind of technology and having this as an option as a consumer. Oh, and we tried to get in last night when we took one. We tried to get in the driver's seat, and you cannot get in the driver's seat because I was going to sit there, and you can't do it. But you can sit in the front, and you got, I guess 3 people in the back. You can fit 4 people in this car. It says it in the app. But you cannot sit in the driver's seat. Actually, that door doesn't even unlock. And I believe the highway is above us here. So I don't think we're going to get on the highway. I think this thing can't go on the highway. I'll have to look it up. You guys tell me. I don't think this thing is highway, and that makes sense to me. But the timing of it is maybe just a little longer, because it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get here on Thursday because of a lot of traffic, and it's taking me basically an hour to get there. Whereas if I would have taken an Uber, I might have saved 10, 15 minutes. So maybe this trip is a little longer because I'm not hitting the highway because we just passed it behind us. But, it is what it is. So maybe if one of the other cons is, hey, this car can't get on the highway, so the route's going to be different, going to take you a little bit longer. So that's something to consider as well, especially if you're trying to get to the airport and you're on time crunch. What up, Felix? And these screens they use here, it looks just like a Tesla screen. The guy that picked me up the other day, he had a Tesla where they got the screen up front, and the screens are basically the same. It shows you its surroundings and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. I don't have a car like that, so it's kind of neat. And even in the Tesla, I believe it had people. Like when people were walking the streets, it would be like a little icon of a human being or whatever. It's kind of neat. That was interesting. We just passed a green light, and the car slowed down at the intersection. There wasn't any car, there wasn't anybody passing. But what I did notice, there was a cop on the other side. So I don't know if this thing detects certain things, if it obviously monitors its speed, I'm sure. But what happens if it does something illegal? When we were in it last night, it was trying to make a left. The light was yellow. It turned red, and right as it turned red, it continued its turn. So it kind of like, if a cop was behind a driver doing that, the cop probably would have been able to pull the guy over and said, "Hey, you made a left." So this thing has a human element to it as far as decision making. But I wonder what happens if, a cop wouldn't pull this over. A cop would have to know this is a Waymo. There's no car in there. Could these things be reported if it did something illegal? Something to think about. What do y'all think? So here's the app on my phone. You can see where you're going. There's the drop off. You see how it's right at the brink of that zone. You see the zone there, the white part? That's the zone of the actual, that's the zone of Waymo, where they go and pick up. So we were over there in Los Angeles, downtown LA, top right, and we're going right at the, so I'm going basically zone to zone. This is one of the further distances this thing would probably go. So that's something to, I don't know, it's interesting. 34 minutes still, y'all. Oh, 31.52. It went down. The price went down. Or did it go up? No, it was 29 and some change, but now it went to 31.52. That's kind of interesting. But you can add a stop. So if I needed to stop right now, I would be able to add one, and I don't got to worry about no driver being huffing and puffing or saying no, which they can't say no, I guess. But if you add it in there when you have an Uber, that driver might be like, oh, I got to do a stop, and think that in their head. This thing doesn't care. There's a ghost right there. They could care less. So if I wanted to hit a store up, if I forgot something, I could easily edit this trip in real time and have no issues. So most of you won't make it to the end of this video, and you're probably not even gonna see this, but I'm gonna put it in there as a record. I know some of y'all might have been bored by that video. It's not really, listen, we're gig workers, we're drivers, we're delivery people, we're shoppers, but we're impacted by the decisions billionaires and other millionaires and companies and entities we're impacted by the decisions that they're making and the plans that they're making. The more robots out there, the more autonomy, the less opportunities for us. Now, they did reference, they believe that this will grow opportunities for DoorDash and Dashers by giving more opportunities for the customer and making things more timely. Could be some truth there. More growth could mean more opportunity for us, okay? But we're 10, 15, maybe even 20 years away from it seriously impacting us. And by then, we're not doing this work. The people that are watching this video are not here maybe, or we're not doing it anymore. So I think the reason I want to put this in at the end is, while it's important to understand what's coming on and what's coming, we're not going to be the ones impacted. It's the next generation. And by then, they're going to be looking at the world so differently that they might have a job opportunity within the DoorDash labs and what they're doing and the drones and this and that. So I think we have to pump the brakes on the worriness of what is coming with robotics and Waymos that I'm sitting in right now. I'm in a driverless car. I'm not driving this. Nobody is in here. Okay? But when it really becomes super impactful for consumers, we're out of this game. All right, we got 16 more minutes. No highway, all streets. Just slow down because that car came in a lane right there. A little speed back up a little bit. I don't know, man. Ever been in an Uber and the driver's awkward, or there's like awkward silences, or maybe they're talking too much, or if you're a passenger, you know what I'm saying. And as a driver, oh, look, it stopped. You see that? It completely stopped, and yeah, so it's aware of its surroundings. But there's awkwardness sometimes, even as a driver. Maybe the passenger's being weird. Like, there's none of that. It eliminates any type of awkwardness, unwanted conversations, any weird smells. Like, it eliminates those kind of things that you deal with sometimes in an Uber or a Lyft. Somebody asked me in the comment section of the video I made when I did the first Waymo, does this thing detect potholes? It doesn't avoid them, but we just had two little and the car slowed down, just like a human would. It didn't swerve and veer off, maybe because there was cars next to us, but it definitely can detect things on the ground, like a pothole, a man cover, a sewer cover, like whatever. It definitely detected that, slowed down, so the car wasn't impacted as much. The guy's turn signal is gonna go left, I guess. Is it? No, I guess not. I had his turn signal on. It still does. You guys can hear it. Oh, there we go. Waited a while. There was no car in that left lane, so I'm not sure what took so long for it to do that. But I noticed that. So we only got 7 minutes. 7 minutes until we're there. This is just one word to describe driving an hour in a driverless car. Put it in the comment. One word to describe this. I'll give you one. Somebody I sent a video to some family members. The word they used was creepy. All right, just gave us an alert, said almost here. Don't forget your phones, keys, and wallets. So we're a minute away. We're really close to the terminal I need to be at. So I'm gonna see about walking it, or I might take an Uber if the price is right. I don't know, but we're almost arriving here. I'll keep the camera rolling as we get to our destination. This is finding a spot to pull over. Oh, what am I doing? Where's the car rental place? This is a little odd. I must have a little bit of a walking. We'll figure it out, but definitely not.
Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
Definitely not a car rental place. Must be down the street. But one of the other issues is, the main one I've noticed after my 4 rides, is it doesn't put you exactly in front of the business unless there's a spot to park. So you got more steps to walk, but hey, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and we'll get out. I'll do it in live time just for the benefit of the camera here. You're here. See, LAX car rental. Please exit now. I mean, I'm not at the car rental spot. We got to walk a little bit, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and exit the vehicle. All right, I'll show you exactly where it put us. Okay, I've never been here, so I don't know exactly where the car rental spot is, but hey, we'll figure that out. All right, let's go ahead and say goodbye to our friend. For some of y'all, it's not a friend, but see, you had to find a spot to park. So that's Waymo. That's the experience. An hour in a Waymo. We did say half the money, but there are some inconveniences, as I've noted. I gotta find this spot now. It did not take me exactly. It doesn't double park. It won't do that. So anyways, y'all drop some comments in the comment section down below. I promise I won't be making any more of these type of videos, because hey, we had the experience. I documented it. I gave it to you. Now I gotta find where I'm supposed to be. See you in the next video.